Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, but it's going to be one of those episodes where it's not really the news or the week in review. I have to figure out what to call these things, because when these happen out of order in the wrong place, I'm always like, I don't want to call it News and Week in Review, but that's the spot it's in. Does a video get the name more by the spot or more by the content of the video? I'm not entirely sure. Either way, this is one of those videos where I'm filming a little bit in advance because I am going to Dice Tower East, which means I'm not able to film this on Thursday or Friday. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I don't know. I have to look at my watch. My watch doesn't even say Tuesday. It says today. That wasn't helpful, but it is. Oh, it does say Tuesday. It says Tuesday in the top corner over there. So yay, it says Tuesday. Anyways, today is Tuesday. I'm filming this a little in advance, which means I have a few news pieces, but I'm going to bump them till next week. We'll talk about them all in next week's video. Next week, I should have a news and week in review. I'm going to a convention next week as well, but at least next week's convention, I'll be leaving Thursday. It's just not like that. I'm leaving Thursday morning, I want to say, so I have time to film this later in the week. But also, outside of that, I will say I'm definitely feeling the pressure. This is one of those videos. I always debate doing these videos because, on the one hand, sometimes I'm like, I just want to do the videos and the content and not get more into the angst of it all. And the angst of it all means like the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, feeling up one day, feeling a little bit down, feeling overwhelmed, feeling on top of things, feeling behind, feeling ahead. Like, you know, even things like, you know, the transparency about the games leaving the collection, or, you know, the struggle to always play the campaign games I want to, or things like that. Like, sometimes I'm just like, you know what, let's just pull it back. Let's just put up that, you know, kind of general wall and be like, here's a board game review, and here's a playthrough, and that's kind of it. But that's not what I want to. That's just sometimes I want to do because there's an element of vulnerability in the rest. Vulnerability that can come back to bite you in different kinds of things. It's a pro and a con situation. It opens up a greater degree of communication and relationship with the audience, with you guys. And relationship's always a loose word. Again, I've said this many times. I have genuine relationships with some of you. I have genuine friendships, see you at conventions. Some of you, I just know their name in the comments. Others, we've never talked or shared a thing, but you've watched a bunch of my videos and I don't even know that. There's all these different levels of what this relationship looks like, but I still think it is a relationship. You can drill it down to different levels, but I still think it's something. And I prefer that more real sense. My gut instinct is to have that more real sense, but it can come back to bite you in all kinds of different ways. When I talk about how much I like a game and then 8 months later that game shows up leaving the collection, that can hurt you. That can hurt, like that can be like an optics thing where like, oh, so you just get rid of games you like, and the answer's complicated, but yes, because you have to. But it opens up that door. If I only just ever reviewed it, if I just gave my thoughts and never spoke about it again, except when it shows up in a top 10 list, if it shows up in a top 10 list, that kind of protects you a little bit more from that kind of criticism. Criticism, by the way, that most of you who are watching this video are probably regulars and probably don't have, or at least if you do have, you have it to a lesser extent. But there are certainly, if you go on Reddit, there are a bunch of people who are like, oh, that Board Game Co guy who likes games and then gets rid of, like, oh, he gave it a 4 to 5. That's code for it's leaving the collection in 2 weeks. Like, and I get where that cynicism comes from because there's like a 2% dash of truth to it. But obviously it's drilled down and simplified, but then I see that as a human being and I'm like, why? Why are they taking that from what I said? This wasn't meant to be the topic of the video, but I had a thing I wanted to get to, and now we're just going into the nature of vulnerability and I'm rambling, so that's where it's going to go. So like that kind of, I guess, openness opens the door to different kinds of criticism. Campaign games are another one. How can you take me seriously if I'm excited about a campaign game 1 week, and then in my yearly video where I update the campaign games leaving the collection, I get rid of 5 more? And again, I finish campaign games, I finish legacy games, but I probably have, this is rough numbers here, for every 5 campaign games I get, I probably finish one, start one. By start meaning like get through. Like I probably actually let's draw it down. For every 5 campaign games I get, I probably finish one, get decently through one, start 2 of them, but play 1 or 2 episodes, and then 1 never even start. That's probably like my rough breakdown. So like I definitely finish and play campaign games, but again, the nature of the transparency. If I just reviewed a campaign game and just said, hey, here's my thoughts on this campaign game after whatever X number of sessions, and then never talked about it again, there is that balance. Like at CharCon, I'm going to be at CharCon shortly, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is giving a panel on how to finish your legacy and campaign games. That can feel silly when you are fully aware that I don't always finish my legacy and campaign games, but the truth is I still have good insights. I still know what has worked for me when I do finish them and what's gotten in the way when I don't. Some of those things are going to be unique to me, some of them less so. So I do have insights. Learning when you don't finish is also helpful. But again, there's that openness, that aspect where you could You could watch my opinion of a campaign game and be like, what do you know? You only got halfway through and you don't even finish them. And that can open degrees of criticism. One of the things, the part where I actually wanted to get to the topic-wise is not those. Those are kind of extra throw-ins. The part I wanted to get to is more, I think sometimes opening the door to when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling like a little too much, I think that can open the door to well-meaning feedback from the audience, but that doesn't necessarily isn't why I'm doing it. Well-meaning can be anything. So, for example, I'm overwhelmed right now. I am in it. I am overwhelmed. It is not a good day today. It is not a good day yesterday. I'm hoping it'll be a good day tomorrow, but right now I'm overwhelmed. And not a good day is still fine. Like, I am fine. I am in control. I think I'm in control. Maybe this is like a cry for help and I don't even realize it, but I think I'm in control. But yesterday and today, I wanted to just give it all up. And give it all up, again, that sounds so extreme. First of all, nothing in the self-harm category at all. But, like, there's a part of me that's like, just forget it. Just give up this whole daily video thing. Just take a step back. Stop taking on review copies. Just pull back and chill out. Just stop. And that's a reaction in the moment. And I do want to talk about that. There's a reason, because I like the realness. I like the let's actually have a conversation. Instead of me just popping on camera pretending everything's normal, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, maybe I'll just talk about it. Maybe we'll have again, conversation is a loose word, but a conversation about the fact that I am feeling overwhelmed. But I also don't want it to come the wrong way. You don't know fully what's in my mind in terms of the full picture. I'm sharing one aspect right now of where I am. And right now I'm feeling overwhelmed. I always feel busy. To be very clear, I always feel busy, and that's because I choose to do things that make me busy. This is a choice I make. And it is very much a choice. Some people might work 3 jobs because they need to. They absolutely need to. I work 2 jobs. I have GameFound as well as Board Game Co., obviously. And the Board Game Co. job, the amount of hours I put into it relative to what I get paid is an intentional choice. It's an intentional choice because I love what I do. And so I'm willing to play all the games I play, sign up for review copies, get those plays in, film the videos, edit, to an extent edit. All the things I need to do on a regular basis, I make sure I do them. Rules. Do you know how much I read rules? It's a little insane sometimes. And like these 40-page rulebooks, they don't get 1 read. A 40-page rulebook before I dive into a film playthrough gets like 3 reads. There's so much time that goes to reading rules. But I do this because I love it. And again, I get compensated, to be very clear. Between Patreon, Ko-Fi, between ad revenue, between sponsored content, I certainly get paid for what I do. But the work relative to the pay is the worst job I've ever had. That's not true. A long time ago, I want to say I was 20 maybe, I sold MTG, Magic the Gathering, for like a year and a half, 2 years. I did the math at one point, and I was paying myself like $3 an hour. I'm pretty sure I get paid more. I haven't done the math with board games, to be fair, but I'm pretty sure I get paid more than $3 an hour with board games. With MTG, I was making money, but the amount of time I was putting into it relative, it was not good. That was the worst job I've ever had. This is the second worst paid job I have, but relative to the hours I put in. But again, that's complicated because many of those hours are playing games. Whether it's on camera or off camera, a lot of the hours I put in is playing games. Reading rules certainly work. Filming the videos, that's work. Playing games, some games are definitely work, a lot of games are fun. But I'm always busy. Again, that's a choice. At times, I'm too busy. The last time I felt like I was feeling right now was when I moved. When was that? A year ago. It was a little more than a year ago. So when I moved, a little more than a year ago, I don't recall feeling as burnt out as then. I was trying to do everything I normally do while moving, and that was too much. And I do find that once or twice a year, things are too much. Right now is one of those times for me. Right now, I've mentioned this in previous videos already. I'm sure you'll hear about it in subsequent videos, but I had UKGE followed by Origins. I'm going to Dice Tower East pretty much tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow at Dice Tower East. Then there's going to be CharCon right after that. Then there's going to be Gen Con right after that. In a roughly 5-week period, I have maybe 5 weeks. 5-week period. 5, maybe 6-week period. I have 5 trips. That's crazy. UKG, Origins, Dice Tower East, CharCon, Gen Con. 5 trips in like 6 weeks. 5 trips, plus I visited my family in Toronto during that period as well. So 6 trips, as far as 5 board game trips and 1 other trip in 6 weeks. Also, my kids are off of camp. They just started camp, but my kids were between school and camp, which added some more downtime. It's too much. it is too much right now. And again, that's a choice. Conventions I go to are a choice. Combined with that, and this is the part where it got too much, because that alone I could manage, but obviously in between that I have to do my game fan work, I have to do my regular board game co-work, and then also there happens to have been a rush as far as the amount of crowdfunding campaigns that need content, which adds to that. Like, it adds to that so much. Like, it is... I'm filming this on Tuesday. Grendel, the campaign for Grendel goes up today. Today is, again, being Tuesday, the 1st, July 1st. And I was hoping to have Grendel done in time. It's not. I mean, I'm ready to film it. It's just not ready. It might go up later Tuesday. It's more likely going to go up Thursday. I'm not usually late on videos. I'm very, very, very rarely late on videos. But there's only so much time I have. There's only so much I can do. And I do find that when I give up what little extra time I have, that is often when I'm pushing myself too much. And I am pushing myself too much. I'm feeling a little burnt. I think I'm fine. I think this goes back to the reason I kind of got into the whole oversharing part is there's a part of me that doesn't want to share the stuff. Like, just put that face. Don't worry about, don't share, because if I share that I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I'll get a lot of well-meaning comments, thank you by the way, from people who are like, well, just take a step back, calm down, you don't have to do a video, you don't have to do this video. I like doing this video, by the way. There's something therapeutic about it. Not because I get the well-meaning appreciation comments, which are great, but that's not why I do this video. If anything, that can be a very negative cycle to get into, where if you're especially if you're on social media, if you have any kind of social media presence, telling your audience, your fans, how hard your situation currently is can incentivize a very negative cycle where you then turn to your audience because you get positive feedback. So if I'm feeling down, I say, hey, I'm feeling down, things are hard, life's hard, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, we love you, and all that. Hopefully people say something like that. Not actually hopefully, but hopefully comments are generous and nice. And then you get that dopamine rush of like, no, everyone loves me, and then that creates a little cycle in your mind to turn towards your audience when you are going through a hard time, which I don't like that. So I debated turning off the comments on this video. I was like, maybe I'll just turn off the comments. Maybe I'll talk about what I want to talk about, but not have that cycle. But then again, that takes away from the entire point of the cycle, which is some degree of actual open relationship, So I'm not turning off the comments right now, but I'm not looking for, any complimentary comments. I'm not looking for comments about, hey, you're pushing yourself too much, we don't need this. I have a good handle on the situation, or at least I think I do. This is me just being able to just have that conversation where I say, hey, things were hard yesterday. Things are hard today. I'm feeling like I'm pushing myself too much. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, which sometimes I do, but like last night I already knew that I needed more sleep, but it is what it is. I've made the choice. I make choices all the time about what to prioritize and how to prioritize those things, and I think I generally have a good handle. I also know that I like the fact that I can feel this way because it is a good warning sign. Like, it's nice to know that there is a warning sign, a little flashing light on your panel in your car telling you that the engine's not working. So at least when something goes wrong, you know that you'll get the warning sign. And this is the warning sign, and I get this feeling probably once or twice a year. And it usually happens when there's too much happening at those times. If there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel, that would bother me. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because guess what? Tomorrow I'm getting on a plane to Dice Tower East. And I'm going to have fun for 6 days. 5 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days. I'm going to have fun. That was 6. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days. I started on the second finger. For 5 days, I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to be able to film videos. I will have a vlog camera with me, and I'll film a vlog because that's fun. But like, I won't be able to film videos. I am very loosely going to be on top of my game found inbox, just do whatever I need to get done. That's it. And that's good, because that will give me a moment to just decompress. And that's, in a weird way, these conventions are part of why I'm stressed out. But it's not really the convention, it's the work. It's the convention combined with the work. The convention is something I look forward to. It's a choice I make as far as how I spend my time and what I do. But because I know that there is a timer on how much I actually can push myself right now, I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling like I just have to get through today. I just have to get through today, and then, then I'll have a 5-day break. Then I'll be back. I'll have 4 days to get work done. I'll probably be stressed those 4 days. Then SharkCon. Then I'm back and I have 2 weeks before Gen Con, which may not sound like a lot, but 2 weeks is so much time. I can do so much in 2 weeks. Like, I can get stuff done. I know I can. Sometimes you're trying to get 2 weeks of work done in 5 days, and that's too much. Getting 3 weeks done in 2 weeks, that's doable. So that's today's video. Today's video is just me letting you know that I was and am feeling a little burnt out right now. I'll update you when I do my next week in review, if things have changed. But I imagine they will. My next week in review will be after Dice Tower East. I imagine I will be feeling significantly better by then. I imagine I will have had time to get the things that I need to get done off my plate, to reorient and realign, and I imagine I'll be back to normal by the time CharCon is over. You'll know if I'm not. That's the thing. You'll know if I'm not. I am prepared to not film videos if I need to not film videos. I am prepared to step back and say, screw it, this is not going to happen today. I did that loosely last week. Thursday, last Thursday I filmed, was it last Thursday or this Thursday? Last Thursday, I put up one video. Thursday is usually a 3-video day, but I was like, you know what? I was feeling it at the time, and I was like, it's going to be a 1-video day. That's okay. It is okay. I know how to release that pressure valve a little bit. This video is almost a warning that, in addition to the fact that I gave you a heads up 2 Mondays ago, whatever it was, saying, hey, things might happen over the next 6 weeks, this video is like another warning that if you are the kind of person who pays a lot of attention to the channel, if there are videos just missing over the next 5-6 weeks, that's because I'm releasing that pressure a little bit. Everything's fine. Things will be back to normal. I assume things will be back to normal. Part of the fear around not doing videos when I want to do videos is that I open up the door to just not do videos except when I just have the whim to do so. And maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. I like operating on a schedule. I like operating, whenever I've done things in life consistently, it's because I push myself to be consistent, and the consistency is it. There's a lot of stuff out there about habit forming. Like a lot of things, like for example, I don't know, whatever you're trying to do, whether it's task management, whether it's losing weight, whatever you're trying to do, most of it comes down to habits. It's not about, you don't have to get better at losing weight. You have to get better at the habits that help you lose weight. You don't have to get better at task management. You have to get better at the habits that enable task management. A lot of life is about building the habits that enable that thing. And to me, the reason I've been able to do the videos that I do on so regular a basis for the past 5 years is because I've built it up as a habit. Instagram is not nearly as consistent, and Instagram becomes that thing that I just put I'll put 3 posts one day, I'll do 1 post 3 weeks later. Instagram is a little all over the place because the habit isn't there. And I haven't pushed that too much because, again, I recognize that I do a lot, and I need to know to not take on too much. But habits are everything. And so I'm always worried that if I dial things back a little bit, it opens up the door for the habit to go away. And I want to avoid that. But you also have to know when the habit as a whole is unhealthy. And that's complicated. But I would say that on my end, as long as I'm only feeling this way once or twice a year for a short period of time, and the fact that I felt this way when I was moving, I am okay with. Trying to do everything I was doing while I was moving, that was a mistake. I will not do that again. But it makes sense that that was too much. So right now, everything's great. Everything will be greater tomorrow. I'm feeling a little burnt. This video for me is, there'll be some people who are like, we just don't do the video. You don't need to do the video. You just spent 25 minutes doing a video you could have saved and done something else. But this video, to a certain extent, is a pressure release. It's the ability to talk about what I'm going through, regardless of the response. It's ability to talk, to process, and to think through how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling the way I am, and just lay the cards on the table. That's your week in review this week. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for everyone who tunes into these videos. Like I recognize that there's different kinds of videos. You're putting out a review of, I don't know, what's a popular game right now? What's a popular game? Black Rose Wars, okay? Black Rose Wars, you put out a review or coverage of Black Rose Wars, people are interested in Black Rose Wars, tune in. You put out a top 10 list, top 10 lists always do well. You talk about something a bit more personal, and the people who show up for that, and people who show up for the week in review in general, or that kind of content, are the people who are there on a more regular basis. They are people who are tuned into you, not to the thing that you are talking about. The thing you're talking about might hook them, but it's more your audience, if that makes sense. And so, because I'm speaking to my audience, to all of you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this thing that I do genuinely love, that I've enjoyed for the past 5 years, and I hope to enjoy for the next 20. That's an arbitrary number. I hope to enjoy for however long I do. And as usual, and until next time, I hope you have a good one.